Alan Rubens is a name that I have heard about, read about. He's the executive producer of the Malt Shop Memories Cruise, but he is so much more than that. Welcome to our show, Alan.
Hi, Anita. Thank you so much.
Well, after meeting you and meeting your wife and, of course, being there with Jerry and the whole gang, I don't think that anyone could explain anything better than you about this trip because you have such history.
Yes, yes. The original concept of Malt Shop Memories Cruise was to make it Disneyland for adults on a cruise boat. And I think happily we've kind of achieved that kind of feeling because you walk on the boat and you just get lost in the wonderful excitement of bringing an era back to life and reliving an important part of our cruiser's life and our world and our history.
Absolutely. The thing that I really enjoyed so much was watching the crowd. I mean, just watching them, they were insane. They were so happy. They never stopped. They went from day to day into night into day, and these were not young people.
No. Now, when we first did the first cruise and we weren't sure how this was going to be and how it was going to, make the people feel, we had a sail-away party when the boat pulls out, and I remember standing up on one of the balconies above the pool area and seeing like 1,500 people jitterbugging to Jerry Blavitt playing some music, and I said to myself, I think this might be something special. And that's the feeling. It's a woman walked up to me that same cruise. The first one we did was a 4-day cruise as a test. Since then, we're now 7-day cruises. And a woman walked up to me on the last day, and she said, I heard you put this together. It was your idea. She said, I want to tell you something. I have a lot of problems in my life at my age and family things and financial things, and it all doesn't matter because I want to thank you for making me 15 again for the last 4 days.
And she's right. As fact,
Yeah.
I took my husband, who is an older gentleman, and this is not his music. And I told him I wanted him to join me and let's go because this is my music. And I have to say, he loved every minute of it, even though it wasn't really, he was more of the, the big band sound and all. But he loved it. I guess we loved the excitement of how everybody was acting.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's just, listen, the people who grew up in this generation, the Malt Shop era, there was something special about it. It was something very much fun. It was your high school days, and here's a chance to go back and go to a senior prom again, to go to a sock hop again, to go to all the different events, a hula hoop contest, a twist contest, see these wonderful artists from that era perform, and then meet and talk to them and see them walk around the ship and sit and have a drink with them, and again, just be part of something that you can't duplicate any other way, and it's not a great thing to go live in the past, but it sure is wonderful to go back and visit it for a little while.
Yes, touche. That's great. But something else that I know it's really a problem nowadays that people they're single. They don't have their spouse or
Right.
they don't have a partner, and they want to go on something where they're not going to feel deserted, alone. And I tell everybody, you don't need
Or out
to
of place.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, everything, you talk to everybody is happy. They're going to, it is the perfect person for singles, even more so. Of course, doubles, we saw so many couples there, but singles, do you get a lot of singles on these cruises?
Absolutely, because of the age group, there's widows or there's people divorced, there's problems like that. We have women who, 2, 3 in a room, they come and listen, when you went to dances, when you were 15 and 16-year-old, most of the time it was girls dancing with girls.
Right.
So it surely isn't odd for seeing 3 or 4 women dance together or a line dance of 9 women and one guy dancing because it's all about having fun here. It's not about anybody feeling out of place or not fitting in. The music's on, you get up and dance with whoever you want to dance with or by yourself and have a ball. And when you were 15 or 16, you weren't married and everybody didn't have a boyfriend, so you don't feel out of place being single again at this time doing the same kind of things.
That's so well put. And, of course, you have a big history in the whole world. I want everyone to go on the Malt Cruise, and that's really why we're talking to you. And I want to actually, let me just give some information. The Malt Cruise, the way you can get information is go to maltshopcruise.com. Maltshopcruise.com.
Oh, it's maltshopmemoriescruise.com
Oh.
or maltshopcruise.com.
Oh, okay. That's what I
And it
had.
will give you all the information for next year's cruise. And unbelievable to say, that boat sailed from November 2nd to November 9th. It doesn't sail again until next November 1st, and we're almost 75% sold out now.
Well, I saw that happening there. A lot of the people I knew when I was even on the ship, you had 25% repeaters. I mean, they already signed up.
When we got off the boat, we had 55% of the people on the boat signed up for next year. Since then, 10% of those people who were on that boat signed up again, and their friends and family who came back and heard about the cruise signed in again. About 75% sold out already.
Well, it's hard to figure out what else is as successful as this. I know there are a lot of other cruise ships. There's so many cruise ships out there, and they have entertainment, they have lots of things. But this particular themed cruise ship, you'll be sorry when it ends. You will definitely want to sign up again, but don't miss this. As a matter of fact, the Boomer Expo is coming up, and there'll be someone that you can talk to there that's coming up this next week on Tuesday, January the 20th. Be sure to sign up because it does sell out. And maybe we ought to just take 1 second and just talk about some of the people who you have arranged to come.
Okay, this coming year, performing and, again, being around the ship, meeting, greeting, talking. We do panels with these people. We do meet and greets. We play the Gong Show, if anybody remembers, and get our celebrities to be part of it.
Right.
We do bingo with the celebrities. We have a lot of fun. And this year appearing will be Neil Sedaka, who was funny. I tried to get Neil to be on our first couple cruises, and he would not go. He said, I don't do all these cruises and things like that. I can't. We finally twisted his arm and got him to come on for a few days a couple years ago. He got off the boat, called me when I returned home. He said, can I come back? I had so much fun.
That's great.
So Neil Sedaka is coming, Frankie Avalon, Bobby Rydell, Chubby Checker, the Four Tops, Little Anthony and the Imperials, Benny King, Lou Christie, Darlene Love, Shauna Na.
Oh, I remember them. Oh, gosh. Go ahead.
Coasters, Sonny Turner, lead singer of the Platters, the Brooklyn Reunion, which is 3 doo-wop groups, the Mystics, the Classic, and the Passions, who go on stage, 12 guys with a band, and sing all of the great doo-wop hits of the era. We also have 2 a cappella doo-wop groups, Traditions and the Tribunes, who walk around the ship like strolling minstrels singing doo-wop. And, of course, we have the Geeter with the heater, the boss with the hot sauce, the MC, Jerry Blavitt.
Yeah, that in itself, just watching Jerry perform, I mean, I am in love with that man. He is, my man. I just can't get that out of my head. He's very special.
Jerry unbelievable is because he's so passionate about the music, but we all grew up in different cities. But every city had that disc jockey who had the jive way of talking and the hip way of doing and playing the music. And Jerry is just representing all of those phenomenal disc jockeys who made this music come to life for us when we were teens. And he's still doing it. So it's if you know Jerry, you get him. If you don't know him, you still get him because he's somebody who was just like somebody in your city when you grew up.
So true. And we should mention that all this happens on the luxurious Holland America ship, the Eurodam, and it's gorgeous. Right. It's first class. Everything is that way. So this is the biggest, the best thing. Save your money to come on this. Don't go on any other cruise.
And we stop at Magnificent Island. It's a regular cruise. It includes, this past year we stopped in Jamaica, Cozumel, Grand Cayman, Key West. This coming year we're at Aruba, Curacao. There's one other location I don't have in front of me. So
it's
everything
Half
you want
Moon
from a regular
Cay.
cruise, Half Moon Cay, and then everything you want on a regular cruise, and then everything you could possibly remember from the old days. It's a 24-hour themed experience. You're never sitting by the pool with nothing to do. You're sitting by the pool, they're playing rock and roll, or there's a doo-wop group walking by, or a band on stage singing.
Let me just say that the enthusiasm was so great that whether you're in the huge auditorium, the beautiful, elegant place where the major shows are, or if you're in the bars or you're in the side places, they're packed. You can hardly get in there, and people are standing and they're clapping and it is really. I've been on a lot of cruises. Actually, I went on, and I think I mentioned this to you. I went on another cruise. It was a themed cruise, and as much as I thought that was great, there was no comparison. There was something electrifying in this one.
Yeah, it's a very like-minded audience who. It's funny, sometimes the people who call the book, they call with an adamant attitude about, I need my cabin 5046. And the person on the phone says, why? We have a beautiful cabin. No, I want to be near that couple from Chicago I met. Because they went to high school the same time I did, and we had so much fun talking to them. On the other side of me was a couple from Texas. So it's a like-minded audience who are sharing the good old days with their own memories in their different cities and trading them while all this phenomenal entertainment activity is going on around them.
And if you want to really hear about this personally, you can call me. You can call me at my office, anywhere. I will tell you about this trip. I mean, I really am a testament to something. I mean, I've been on a lot of cruises, but I don't think I have ever been on something that I had a smile on my face. I slept well. I ate well. I enjoyed everybody. It was really first class, and
we saw you partying.
Yeah, I know. I just love this. Of course, my husband likes to retire at about 10 or 11, and I was a nice girl, and I stayed there with him, but I really wanted to be out more with other people. I'd like people to know a little bit about you, because your resume, I mean, your life experience is so big. I mean, I want to just tell you before you answer that question, after I came off, I went and bought I bought the Johnny Carson tapes. I bought the that you can buy, and then I also the Time Life, and I also bought, and because I know that you did all these. Then I also bought the ones with Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, and I mean, I've been listening to all this stuff.
Yeah, well, Time Life, we sell pop culture. I mean, we are a big music seller. We do 10 CD sets, 150 songs, and we do infomercials, the best of the 70s, the best of the 60s, a Malt Memories infomercial we had, Flower Power, and then we do classic TV. We've had the Carol Burnett Show, which has been one of our best sellers of all time, the Dean Martin Roast, the Dean Martin Variety Show, Johnny Carson, Ed Sullivan. We honor classic TV. We put together great packages and make them a little special, and we sell music and great, again, we are somebody who think that there's a generation out there in a demographic that remembers when it was a little different, a little special, and we cater to them and try to bring them great, unbelievable package that takes them back in time and takes them back to a time when they can say to themselves, this was mine. This is who I was.
But the thing that impressed me is when you shared your life's history with me as we were having dinner that night. I mean, you started out like with kind of nothing, just being a kid that liked music. Would you mind sharing some of that with everyone?
No, I was a big music fan, and just thought that it was the greatest thing in the world to listen to music, and luckily to have a decent car with a radio and drive down the street and play the music loud and go to the kind of hot shops and fast food places that we went to. And I had an opportunity at Temple University in Philadelphia to meet a young singer in the music department who kind of auditioned for me or played for me, and I just fell in love with his voice, and I thought, this guy's as good as anything I'm hearing on the radio. So myself and a couple friends put up some money and made a demo, and I figured I want to be a president of a record company, and nobody would hire me, so I'll just open one and make myself a president. So I opened a record company, and luckily this first demo and this first artist started at a very high level. We had tremendous success early, and I ended up with a career in the music business.
Yeah, right.
And that group was Blue Magic, was the first group that I've ever worked with.
Blue Magic. And, it's like snapping your fingers. It wasn't snapping your fingers. It was going in order to, nobody realizes, especially years ago, in order to get someone to play an artist, you had to go to every little radio station anywhere. I mean, all over the country, right?
If anybody remembers 45s, I took boxes of 45s and drove around to radio stations, knocking on the door and saying, please listen to my record. I may not be able to pay for my hotel room tonight if you don't start playing this record. So that's what it was. It was just rolling up the sleeves, because it was, I said to myself, when I was in the studio and making the first record, I just fell in love, and I said, this is what I want to do. What do I have to do? Whatever it takes. And what it took is putting records in the trunk and driving around and begging, borrowing, and stealing for somebody to play it, to listen to it. And again, I knock on wood, some way, somehow, I got lucky enough to create a career for myself. And I used to say to my wife in early years of marriage, and I get paid for this. I can make money doing this. I would do this for free.
Right. And now you know so many of the artists too. I mean, that's it. So you went in, you had a new group, but then they were coming to you, knocking on your door.
Yes. Again, when you have success, it's like anything else. When you're hot, then people search you out. And it was, an interesting time period. In the 70s, and it was a time period when the record industry was very different than today. We had no internet, we had no downloading. People actually bought singles and actually ended up buying albums and spending money on music. And if you could be successful, then other talented people came to search you out, whether they were writers, producers, and other performers.
I'm sure that you were responsible for the success of some people we would recognize. Can you share that?
Very much involved with Blue Magic, who had a gold record, Major Harris, who had a big hit record, Frankie Smith's Double Dutch Bus, Gene Carn, Rose Royce, LTD. These are all groups that we did albums on. In Fat Larry's Band, Brandy Wells, Barbara Mason. So many artists in that 70s and 80s period that had a lot of good history and a lot of good success. And I also was very lucky that a lot of our records were very big hits in Europe and Australia, which was very helpful, again, for maintaining a career.
Yeah, so that made you happy because you got to know people personally, and they depended on you, and you knew what you could do. See, I think it takes a talent because it's not just going out there and doing what you did. You have to know a person. You have to know their music. You have to know what you can get from them, and sounds like this was all part. Did your family, were they in the music business? Is that how you got your talent?
No, I'll give you the best story. Nobody in my family was musically inclined, including me. When I went to junior high school, junior high school, when you're going to graduate, the music teacher went around and listened to everybody in the auditorium sing. And if you couldn't sing a note or hold a note, she would tell you, just lip sing, let the kids who can sing sing. I was one of the ones who was told to just lip sing, would you please? So at one of my reunions, my friends brought that teacher to the reunion to say, you told him not to sing. He made a career in the music business. You were wrong.
Oh, that's great. My guest is Alan Rubens. He's the executive producer of the Malt Memories Cruise and so many other things. And his personality is just so brilliant. You see, you haven't lost it. As successful as you are, you don't have to still be doing this. But I don't think you'd know what to do without it.
I absolutely would. Listen, my wife has always said to me that I'm one of the luckiest people in the world because I've loved every day that I've worked and can't wait for tomorrow to work again.
Yeah, I see that in you. Yeah, you have to meet you to see that. Well, tell me about your kids then. Are they doing anything like this with you?
Nope. When my kids wanted to be in the record business, they saw the things that I did and the people that I knew and places that I went. I went to the Grammys and I went to this and I went to that. Oh, Dad, I said, no. The business is changing. But when I got in and how I did it, you can't do it again.
Oh.
No. You're not going to be in music business because I can just see what's ahead of us. It's going to get, and it is. It's a changed industry. It's a changed business. It's a much smaller business. In 2004, the record industry was a $13.8 billion industry worldwide. Today, it's about a $6 to $7 billion industry. We're the only industry that technology has destroyed and not helped in so many ways. So it's become a much smaller industry. So I just saw the writing on the wall that it was going to be a much harder way to go. I said, you guys are going to get education, figure something else out, and if you want to play around in it, fine, but we're not going to sit here and make your plans to be what Daddy was.
Oh, good. Well, you're a good father. Smart advice. So when you get these, are you the one that decides who should come on each of the Malt shop cruises?
I book all of the talent. I pick all of the artists. Yes.
And so they know you. I mean, now you've done 5. Is this it was your 5th last time, right?
Yes, the 6th one will be next year.
Right.
And a lot of these guys I've used to host infomercials that I've made for Time Life because I produce a lot of the infomercials, and I've used Frankie Avalon, I've used Bobby Rydell, we've used Neil Sedaka, Little Anthony. So a lot of these guys we know from other things, Jerry Blavitt hosts them on, that Time Life has done, and I did a big PBS Malt Shop Memories pledge show a few years back and had about 14 acts. And thankfully, and knock on wood, I've created, I believe, a reputation in this arena where the artists are happy to work for us. They know they'll be treated well. They know we put on a first-class event. Our customers do not attack them and besiege them, that it's a good sharing experience. So I pick up the phone, these guys answer, and if they're available, they try to do it for me.
Yeah, and it surprises me, though, the people that they are aging, and yet their voices seem to be so strong. What do they do to keep their voice going?
Well, the ones that are smart take care of themselves, get a lot of sleep, get a lot of rest, and plain words, don't drink a tremendous amount, and keep exercising. The voice isn't working. Some of them are just plain lucky. I mean, Bobby Rydell sings as good today as he ever sang. It's unbelievable. Little Anthony is still phenomenal. Sadak is great. Avalon. I mean, it's a Chubby. These guys have maintained themselves through the years, taking care of themselves, and knew it was their instrument. It was their tool. It was the way that they made a living, and really took care of it. And again, some of it must be luck, because I've ran into other people who had great voices and just it didn't stay with them. And I don't know that they did anything wrong, just they weren't as lucky as some other people. And the thing that I have to do is I have to differentiate between who can still do it and I have to say who can't, because it costs a decent amount of money to come on the Malt Shop Cruise, and I want each and every show and each and every performance to have everybody at the end of it standing up and applauding and just as excited as possible. I mean, the last Malt Shop Cruise you were on, the last show of the week was the Beach Boys, and Dion went on stage singing with the Beach Boys. And, Jerry Blavat walked on and said to the audience, "That's what Malt Shop Memories is," and you couldn't wrap it up in a better way.
I have to just say that. Actually, I think it was the Beach Boys, and they should have been off sooner, but nobody wanted them to leave. And I could see Jerry on the side wanting to cut, because time had run out, and nobody was going to let that happen. They were standing. The whole ship was rocking, and it wasn't rough water.
Yeah, Mike Love had said to me before the show, because I know him, he's hosted an infomercial for me, and we go back, and he said to me, "You know what? We're in a mood to perform. I don't care what time he tells us to get off. We're going to go till we're finished."
Well, that's what happened. They just didn't stop, and it was and you see, I was sitting in one of the boxes, so I could view the people who were watching and part of this. I mean, and they were crazy. They were so thrilled, and these were people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. I mean, that's what I loved about the cruise. That woman said to you about, "You've made me have some days that I was back somewhere else. I didn't have any of my problems." That's, in my capacity as a gerontologist, and I looked at a lot of these things, and I absolutely was thrilled with what you did. It was like a psychology class watching this.
Again, I pinch myself when I look and see the people have fun, and I say, I am in some way part of helping these people have this kind of fun.
Right.
And what you said when your first line, when you said the people made you, when I watch the people have fun, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
I get a smile across my wife says to me, "Stop it! You got to get the smile off your face." It's just so much fun because you're seeing people just push their troubles, push everything. You got people on walkers with oxygen.
Right.
We had a woman who was on a wheelchair and a hula contest, and she did it around her wrist. I mean, she didn't care. She's having a ball.
Right.
So
I did. I saw that also, and then of course the things you notice, the doors that they decorate with all these amazing kinds of things. I mean, that was just hysterical.
I don't know what kind of size suitcases that people have to bring the stuff they decorate their doors with. The clothes they wear to the senior prom are clothes out of the 50s and 60s.
Yep.
And then when we have our senior prom, they're wearing tuxes and gowns right out of that era. I don't know where they find them. I'm sure some of them are not the same size that they can wear their original tux or gown, but they look phenomenal, and we crown a king and a queen of the prom, and we try to make them remember all those. This year there was a woman who walked up to me and said to me, she had like tears in her eyes, and I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "I just want to tell you how happy you made me. I was sick and I could never go to my prom. I'm going to my prom with my lover. Well, my husband. I'm finally going to my prom." It was touching and wonderful, and
of course.
So,
but it was true, and the other thing, when I looked out, everyone gets a red shirt. I don't know if it's going to be red every time, but you get a shirt with all the names on the shirt, and you looked at the sea of red shirts. there on the ship, out in the open. I mean,
Right.
this is Hollywood stuff. Really, this was, this could have been a movie.
Yeah, we even said you guys should film this and make a movie out of it because, again, it's hard to tell somebody if they weren't there.
Right.
But the other thing is we make a video, and we send a video of the cruise to all of our customers. If anybody goes to the website and is interested to call the number on it, they can request a video, a DVD of last year's cruise to see how much fun it is, just capture some of the events. If they want to decide to go on it, they can look at this DVD and see what we're telling them and how much fun it is.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, that would be something that you would be very happy to do. Let's take a second in just a little time we have left to talk about Jerry Blavat, because I do think that he is a unique individual also. I mean, he has a memory like he remembers every single thing, every person, every name. What does he eat?
Listen, I wish I knew because I would sign up and eat it the same. He has more energy, and you saw him. He has more energy than anybody 1/3 of his age. He never stops going. I call him the ever-ready bunny. And he remembers everything. And he was, he started dancing on bandstand when he was 14. And he had an eye and a mind and an ear for the music industry at that time. Great ear for music. And remembers everything from those days till now, and every celebrity, every intricacy, every nuance of every celebrity, what their record was, who did it, what the B-side was, who wrote it, who produced it. He's a walking book of knowledge, and, I think you saw his book. He wrote a book called You Only Rock Once, and it's that same phenomenal memories in a book.
Yeah, that is true. Without him, I'm sure you could find somebody, but he is such a part of this. I couldn't picture him or anybody else doing what he does. He told me he does exercise a great deal. You can see his body. He's
he's in the gym every morning 2 hours.
Is he married?
He's married for 30-some years. They haven't been together for quite a few years because the guy's never home. He's always working.
Of course.
But he's got a wonderful family. I've met his kids. And it's funny, when we first put the idea in Time Life, decided to grant me the opportunity to do this, before I booked a performer, I booked Jerry Blavat. Because I grew up in Philly to listening to Jerry, and I just knew that Jerry, my sister I have an older sister who grew up, and she was in that era and that time, and I was listening to her 45s, and Jerry Blavat was the guy who took all that music and made it come to life in Philadelphia. I just knew he was the right guy. And again, because of who he is, but also he represents every one of those disc jockeys who are all around the country.
Well, Alan, I hope to see you again. You are special. If there's anything ever I can do for you, I'm here because I really appreciated it. Yeah,
come back.
You're very sweet. Thank you, Alan, so much.
Come back. I want to see you on the cruise, and we'll have dinner and have some more fun.
You're terrific. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Alan.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Okay.